Hi, I'm George, and we'll be looking at 5 great things about bees. We'll also be taking a look at what's inside my giant beehive back there because somebody asked me about that. Now, if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to click on share and subscribe as well. When you subscribe, hit that notification icon to get notifications of my new videos, and take a look at my channel for a bunch more Minecraft stuff. Okay, let's get to it. We've moved over here to my other bee location, and mostly because there's my greenhouse in the back. Way off in the distance, that direction is where my big beehive is. We'll look at that at the end of the video again. I have a nice little beehive right here, and there's a bee. The first thing I want to talk about is it can actually put a leash onto a bee by using a lead. So I'll grab my lead here. Let's just move forward here and tap that bee. And there we go. We put a leash on the bee by using a lead. Nice thing about this is you can then take the bee anywhere you want, just walk along, and the bee is pulled along by that lead, so we have the ability to move the bees anywhere we want them just by using the lead, and that'll stick with you right there. Click the bee again, that releases the bee, and they can then fly away. Real nice trick. I used that as one of the ways I brought my bees over to my greenhouse back over there. I just used that lead. Okay, the next nice thing in here is that you can attract bees by holding a flower. Let me see if our bees are around. There we go. I'll just grab a flower right here, and notice how the bee comes right over to me, and it'll hang around here as long as I'm hanging onto this flower. Now if I walk away, the bee will follow me over here. Now one thing about this is you can't walk too quickly. If I run real fast, the bee is going to get lost and he won't follow over necessarily. This one actually spotted me. He's following along. That's pretty good. A lot of times, though, they'll get lost and they won't follow you if you go too fast. So if you're using this as a way to lead your bees around, don't go too quick. Just kind of, wander slowly wherever it is you want to go, and the bees should follow along just fine. And there it is. So there it is. That's my number 2 great thing about bees. For number 3, let's pop over there inside of the greenhouse. Okay, here we are in the greenhouse, and you can see the number 3 great thing about bees in action. And that's that bees will pollinate your garden. This works out very well if you have them contained in a greenhouse. They won't be flying away. What you'll need is to have a beehive or a bee nest inside of your greenhouse, like I have right back here. The campfire, of course, is so that I can collect honey out of that. You can have 3 bees per hive or nest, so I have 3 bees flying around. And as they gather the pollen from the flowers, which I have in behind my plants in here, when they fly back and forth from those flowers, you can see they're dropping pollen right now. And whenever that pollen lands on a crop, it's going to pollinate that crop, and the crop will increase its growth rate. So it's a great way to speed up the growth process. Now, it's not real fast, as you can see. It's not a great way to do very fast gardening. It works about the same as using bone meal on a crop, except that bone meal is more accurate and specific. But this will work over time. Now, if you don't really care about speed and you just want to have some fast pollination in here, this is a great way to do it. So there you go. That's the next great thing about bees, is that they will pollinate your plants. Now, they'll only pollinate specific plants. They'll pollinate wheat and potatoes. I have potatoes over here on the right-hand side, and carrots, so I have here on the left-hand side. Also beetroots, melon stems, pumpkin stems, and also sweet berry bushes. So there you go. A great thing that bees will do is that they will pollinate your plants for you. Okay, let's go ahead and pop outside now for the next great thing about bees. Here's a nice view of that greenhouse in the back. And the next great thing about bees, of course, is that they produce honey. You can collect that honey using a bottle, and that gives you a honey bottle. I have one right over here. There it is, honey bottle. You can drink the honey as food. It takes longer to make this food. You have to wait for the bees to grab their pollen, go back in, make honey. It takes several trips then to make honey. You then have to gather that honey. So it's a long process, not really as efficient as, say, growing wheat and turning that into bread, which is real easy to do, or even just fishing. But it is a good way to make food. But much more important, and this is the best thing about honey, is that it's an antidote to poison. Let me just show you that. I'll just go over here. I'll grab this potion of poison right here. I'll drink this. There we go. And there's our nice poison effects happening in here. I'll just grab my honey bottle, drink the honey bottle, and there we go. Poison effect goes away. So there it is. That's the best thing about honey, is that it's an antidote to poison. So I'd recommend getting several honey bottles and just carrying them with you at all times, just in case you're poisoned. It's a fast way to get out of that particular problem. Great thing about bees, possibly the best reason to have bees around, is this ability to use honey as an antidote. Okay, let's now just pop back over to my giant beehive and talk about the last thing I think, which is the best thing about having bees. Okay, and my favorite thing about bees? They're just fun to have around. I just like them flying around, hanging around those flowers. It adds a nice little bit of animation and nature happening inside the game, and just makes the game more interesting having this new mob just kind of hanging around and doing its bee thing. Okay, now I mentioned that we would go back and take a look at what's inside my giant beehive back there. Let's go ahead and we'll do that. Let's walk back up here. And I built this mostly as just a background for some of these bee videos. And the way this is built, I found a nice pattern for doing a dome, and then I just built up 2 rows and then in 1 row, then up 2, in 1, up 2, in 1, and it gave a real nice kind of beehive shape. I haven't really done anything with the inside yet, but we'll go ahead and take a look at this anyway. It's a really nice, huge space. Again, not sure what I'll be doing with this thing, but there we go. Very large space inside. I don't have any bees hanging out inside of this thing, but it's a real nice, really large space. I'm sure it's good for something. But I can easily put in a whole bunch of different layers in here, levels, maybe some balconies and things. Has a chance to make this into a really interesting giant home. But there you go. That's what's inside my giant beehive. Not a whole lot of anything yet. Just big, open, empty space. Okay, so there you go. That's my 5 favorite things about bees, and also what's inside that giant beehive right there. Now, if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to click on share and subscribe as well. Hit that bell icon when you subscribe to get notifications of my new videos. And also, take a look at my channel for a whole bunch more Minecraft stuff. Okay, and I'll see you next time.